Hi, you guys. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. Before I get started, I got like a mini miracle to share with y'all that happened to me today. So it's nothing, but it's something that I must put on my video feed before I proceed to move any further. So I was on TikTok and I was singing, and then all of a sudden my phone went out. At the exact moment my phone went out, I saw these tan type wings just flapping. And I'm like, what is that? And then I kind of like look like that. I don't know if they're still in the bushes or the tree, the bald tree, might I add. Birds, they don't normally like bald trees because they can be seen. And seeing as though I was in the middle of playing music, I don't think that that would have been an area that a bird would want to be with the vibrations because they feel the vibrations of everything. That's how they survive. You come too close, they'll fly away unless uh, they're desensitized to human, pigeons, crows, ravens. So I looked and I thought I saw two birds, but I'm like, I'm tripping. So I'm like, hey, birdie. So I just see, first I thought I saw two, double vision, which it was two, technically, FYI, but one. In my it somehow a tree was blocking it from being seen, but I saw it at first, but something, however, to the point, I sit up there and I'm always talking junk no matter what I do, but I don't mean no harm, and that's what makes me different from other people. However, I said this must be a covert operation because before my phone hung up, I'm talking directly to the bird. Yes, I am. And so I sat up there and I said, this must be a covert operation because, and he's just doing this, behind, like he's not even looking at me. He, she, it, a, then just I'm laughing. And I'm like, this must be a covert operation because you were just flapping your wings and that got my, I would have never knew the bird was up there. I would have never knew. It blended right in. That's weird stuff one. Until it flapped its wings, my phone shut off. And I said, what the ah? And then I sat up there and I went like that. I saw the bird right there. And it was just doing that. And when I said this was a covert operation, thanks to the military, this bird, I'm not going to call it an MF or entity or being, but this bird, the title of this animal, turns his head like a damn, he's not, mind you, imagine someone behind me like that person looking at me. And I'm just doing this like a bird. And I just turned around and just out of nowhere at the exact moment I said, this must be a covert, and he's just doing this. I was like, this must be a covert operation thanks to the military. They stop and they turn around and look at me because I'm just trying to figure out why did they flap their wings in the first place and why did my phone go off at the same time. So then I said, forget this. I get out the car. No one's, people are around, but they don't know what I'm doing. It's all from their vantage point. The people that were outside, it just looked like I'm talking to midair. But I know what I saw. I recorded it, but I couldn't find. Like I should have put it on Facebook. I should have, but it was. You must hear me. So then I walk out the car and I'm trying to find it, but for some reason I cannot find the birds zoomed in. I found them on the video recording of the Apple iPhone 14, but it won't let me find the vantage point of where they at. So I was like, it's two of y'all. Just two? Like, when have you known double people birds to be just next to each other other than a group? It's never two birds. I mean, I could be wrong. Please prove me wrong. Like, I've never seen two birds this close. Like, and they were like right next to each other, and so close that I'm the first one just happens to turn around when I said covert. I'm like, ain't this like, you called your bro on me, you know? No, I didn't say that, but I was like, look at this. This is funny as crap. Toya. So I don't know what else I said from it. It gets a little blurry, but they did something else, one last thing, and it I laughed very loud, which same thing with the ducks yesterday. They be having telepathy conversations. One duck was on the rooftop of the parking lot, just and the other one like and the other one's just looking around like I'm like, okay, what the hell are y'all talking about? And then they get real silent and start moving their heads. Like they're telepathically talking. And I'm like, so this is what y'all do, y'all telepathically talk. And one made a move, y'all. I walked real slow. It was so funny. And so I played it off. I played it off real nice. I was like, okay. So I walked all the way to like right there. And then I heard the big one, the one on top of the roof, is like, it flew down as soon as I sat up there and went over there where they couldn't see me because he could the big bird that was on top of the roof, the one with the conversation that everybody walked past these ducks and they don't even notice. They be having full-fledged, only the bird lovers would. They be having full-fledged organizational conversations. And I be trying to get into it and they be getting mad at me. And sometimes nature will mess with me back. Now, in closing, will I go to the wilderness or the forest with somebody? Hell no. However, my city nature is good enough for me. I'm not going nowhere where a bear is amid. I'm not going to try to be one with the bear. I've seen a black bear. It was pretty small, but like I don't want that. You know, no, no, no. So let's get started. How else do you think they communicate while I pull this up? I'm pulling it up. This is the longest it's ever taken. Okay, hold on for a second. That is so weird. I'm having technical difficulties. Let me see if I can get on this way. Mm-mm. Okay, looks like I have to make a phone call. Bear with me. To technical support. This is the second time I've called in the year and a half I've been there. So any, many, money, mo. I'll be back on here. Love you guys. Before they close. Bear with me a second. Kimberly Cloud, can I speak with technical support? Are y'all having an outage issue? Yes, ma'am. Give me a second. Hold on, you guys. The Kimberly Cloud Show at yahoo.com. Can you make sure it's okay? Even though it should be. Yes, ma'am. Well, it looks like I'm gonna be doing it can't do nothing because the whole system is down. The irony is killing me. So, looks like I have to this is so weird. Um Let me try again. I have nothing to go on. So it's actually going to be due next Tuesday or uh, however it's going to be done. But I don't want to not do nothing. All my information, I'm not making excuses. Let me record this. Look at this stuff. I can't get on. What is you? It's all the information I need is online. I'll try again. In my whole year and almost a half of going, I've never experienced the outage at UMGC. The information I need is on that site. So it's nothing I can do until that site pulls back up. I can look at the stuff I downloaded, but I have no guidance. I have no timeline or guidance of what is going on. What am I supposed to do? Look at what they put and put what I think should be there? No, I have to do it right.
Hey, Kimberly, are you still here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for holding. Appreciate your patience. So it looks like everything looks pretty good.
No, do you know when I estimated time for it to be back up and running so I can keep checking or just keep checking? Okay. Thank you so much. Will it yeah. I just wanted to know like I everything that I need to do is on the website, the UMGC website. So what happens if it extends past a day or two? What do I do then? Because I need to do my work and I can't do it without being on there. Go ahead. So right now, she's going to send me a direct link to...
Thank you so much for holding, Kimberly. So it looks like I'm not actually able to access that. I was able to access like a direct link to the online part.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So before, when they transfer to me to IT, then I'll talk. Until then, let me tell y'all what I have to say. I got my provisional patent for my eye detector. I have to call them. However, I don't want to call them today. And I shouldn't say what I'm going to do, because the last time I said what I was going to do, this happened. I would have been doing my homework by now. I talk for 10 minutes and I do my homework. Simple. I would have read, I would have done my homework, I would have moved on, I would have been able to do someone. I'm not going to waste this footage. I'm not about to create a whole entire footage for something when I sat up there and I would have been doing my homework. This isn't UMGC's fault. However, y'all should sit up there and figure the White House. Thank you, President Trump. Anyway, this isn't UMGC fault. However, there should be preventable measures to keep it from happening again. We don't need to sit up there and have the same thing continue to happen, where a year from now some other student is going to go do the same thing. It's just not right. So take the opportunity to try to fix the system. So right now I'm on hold with IT, and I'm going to see what I can do to get back into my account. That's how dedicated I am. But until then, what I will do is I will put a studio together and write the people back that I need to write back, because that's exactly what I would have been doing had I not had this hiccup happen. So for my supporters, thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate every day your support, your generosity, especially on LinkedIn. Y'all got me looking famous. I was like, dang. Thank you so much. And it's foreigners. It's foreigners, and I appreciate them. I appreciate them. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. I will never forget your name.
Hey, Kimberly, are you still here?
Yes.
Thank you so much for holding. So I actually have a website you can go through, and that will go straight to your online classes.
Okay, I'm ready. Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for me?
I'm trying to find. We're in spring of 26, right? Because it's weird the way it comes up.
That like for your graduate portfolio, your spring of 2026 is actually in April. So right now,
In winter.
the January 7th is considered the spring quarter.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions for me?
No, no.
All right, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Need to. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, let's get started. We're gonna do some reading. Okay. So we're gonna go first to projects. First, we're gonna go to assignments. Scroll down. Okay. This is a proposal. Um, I don't want to download that, but what I'm gonna do is go to projects, go here, not yet, at least. Um, Successful communication depends on a thoughtful, clear message that considers the needs and values of the target audience, the information the speaker wants to convey, and the method. So, what are the values for the target audience? For me, when I sit up there and I think about values for my audience, I think about, will they be educated? Will they learn something? And the information a speaker wants to convey is how will they convey it? How? What information? Interviews about people past, present, and future. The method is through communication. In a professional setting, a communication team can maintain a communications matrix to keep track of various activities in order to hone messaging, weigh the needs of stakeholders, and gather feedback. So when I hear home messaging, that means controlling and keeping messaging in various ways, keeping track of it, weigh the needs of stakeholders, people that take risk and for the business, and these stakeholders are people, individuals that are in positions for the CEOs and etc. Because they help make the move that the CEO need and the supervisors need, and gather feedback. A communication matrix like the one here. What you got to show me? I'm so sorry, phone. I didn't mean to harass you. Stuff you see. I'll keep that. It identifies essential information about all communication activities. Who is responsible for overseeing the activity? The target audience for the activity. Its development status, and more. The document linked above is for future reference and use. You do not need to fill it out for the current project. You will, however, need to provide a simplified communication matrix for your presentation later. Okay, that's why I said I'll keep it. To create awareness and understanding of the reasoning behind the change plan, to support employees' understanding of what will happen and how changes will be implemented. So you want to create awareness. Hey, look, my pizza is made with the freshest ingredients, and the reason, but it has health food benefits and superfood on it. That will make people understand the reasoning behind the change plan. To support, I want pizza. To support employees' understanding of what I have to say this. I can't help myself. All the DNC women go run to all the Pizza Huts. Oh man, it's sick. To support employees' understanding of what will happen and how changes will be implemented. To present who is involved in leading the change and why. To clarify how this affects projects, groups, and processes. So to present who is involved, the Pizza Hut. Let's just say Pizza Hut is involved, you know, because they're changing the way people eat pizza, a more healthier alternative. And it's because it has to be why is a healthy alternative. To clarify how this affects projects, groups, and processes. Project one, to go to the places that you get your ingredients for the health products that will go on the pizza. You place them in similar groups that like each other. And the process is two to a car that go, or two to a truck that go get the ingredients in bulk that goes, that the group implement and create a design to go out to these distribution centers and get the product. I hope I said that right. To support employees understanding their individual roles and responsibilities in the process of change. Each one will have an individual role, like I said, with the responsibilities of the process of change. To create consistent messaging for leaders to use in communication or communicate. Okay. Wow. Hold on. Hello. Now, I bet you, had I ignored that, it would have been a live person online. Let me keep my phone line open anyway. Let's see. To create consistent messaging for leaders to use communicating about the change at an organizational level and a functional level. Keep messaging the leaders. Ensure information is shared in a way that is timely, accessible, accurate, and relevant, in that employees know how to obtain more information. We did the team agreement. I know what a virtual team is. I know what collaboration online is. Understood. When is this due? Hmm. Hmm. Thank you to big shout out to the person that I've been talking to. So now I'm gonna go back to this. Ooh. Um, Hello. Hi. I am doing good. So I wanted to know what needs to be done for this next week. Oh, sorry. That's a dumb question. Sorry. I'm trying to do two things at once, so I'm just like, I'm trying to think ahead. So they submitted the change plan proposal and they submitted the team agreement, which I was a part of the team agreement. Let me see. Let's see. And then they assigned groups, which I am in the group with you. And then we and you discussed, you were going to do a sector, I was going to do feedback, right? Okay, do you want to do a FaceTime real quick? Okay, hold on. Let me put you where no one can see you. Hold on. Hi. So pretty much I am looking at the submission history, right? And it says that the change plan proposal was done. Is my name included in that or no? Okay. Okay. I owe Joshua so much. Like seriously, I'm just getting to it. I'll admit. I'll admit. But I'm on here now. That's what matters. And the feedback. What do you have for your implementation so far?
Do I have a page written up? And whatever slide, I cannot do a draft copy, right? So
Do I bounce off of what you put?
not necessarily, because you have to bounce it off of what the entire class will.
Okay. The change plan is included in it?
Yes. So the entire change plan. So um, I think what Chris did was on the list, I believe whoever he spoke to, they already decide what slide section they are going to take, right? So the last two sections, right, is what's left. That's why he said we can choose which one, either one, right?
And this is for next week, right?
No, 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 no. That's for the entire project.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think we should worry about next week right now. We speak to the team because
Fair enough. Yeah.
so it's either going to be Chris or Josh or Erica. One of those three is going to upload it. Is going to upload the deliverable for next week. So for this, I mean, for today, what's his name? Josh already uploaded for today's assignment, correct?
Yeah, on the second, he did that. Erica and Josh, I think.
No, it's only Josh. I believe Josh did that. If you go to the assignment, what was submitted for on the second, Josh did it.
Yeah, at 5:34 a.m.
Exactly. Josh did it, so he did it for the entire team. So we all
That
got
was nice of him. Yeah.
yeah. So for next week, we haven't decided who's gonna do that. But for the main project is what Chris broke it down for all of us. So for the main project is what you're doing the feedback, and I'm doing the implementation.
Fair enough. And that's due by the end of like a week and a half from now. We trying to hit a week and a half the mark.
Yes.
Until then, what do you need me to do?
It's what everybody's doing right now, right? What everybody's assigned, right? So what I'm doing is I'm putting the draft together for the implementation part, right? And the notes, I'm putting that as well. So I believe Chris is building the slides that we have to use, right? Chris is building the slide. As soon as he drops the slide, send it to everyone. If I have a visual of the slide, then I can start doing the implementation part in the slide. And you can do the feedback in the slide, right? So there's going to be an entire paper for the week 3. And that's section that the note section, I'm sending to them and they all put it together. So we only have two parts to do. The fourth part is to do the slide, which is the one-page slide. And the second part is uh, the essay thing that we have to write.
I can't really do nothing until the end, right? Until everybody finished their part. I'm okay with that. Because I will have to provide the feedback for everybody's project. And I chose it, so I'm okay with that. I think that that's cool.
Gather all the stuff, everybody feedback, and send it in. So whoever the auditor is or the editor, those people will actually put everything in one thing and submit that.
And you just need one paper, one page.
I'm only doing a page, and that page will probably be short down, but that page is what I'll send to them to the team to get a feedback on, saying like, okay, they like this, take this away, or add this, whatever the team decided on. That's what I'll do, and I'll send it back so they can gather it, right? Then I'll go to the slide, then I'll build my own slide. Now, also keep in mind when the slide is done, there's a recording that we have to record. We have to record it and breathe, like literally breathe the slide in there.
What do you mean by that?
when the slide, when we finish all the slides, right? Everyone that did the slide have to print the slide.
Basically talk.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I gathered after talking to George said the instructor stated that you can brief it or you can let ChatGPT brief it.
Hey, I'm down.
I like the accent, so I like to talk.
Hey, if that's what you like, it's cool. Yeah.
The slide that I present, I have to do a recording and talk to it. So when they gather all the slides, each slide that comes on, somebody's talking. So the instructor will see it, and that's how they'll grade the slide, right? And the entire paper, each person provides a section. So somebody's going to gather the papers and make it a whole APA format and submit that as well. So that's two things we have to do. So again, you're doing your slide and you're doing your paper side.
And I just want to make sure I it's nothing that I can do right now until I get because today I'm online right now. So what I'm going to do is read as much as I can and read what y'all have so far. That way I can catch up on the vision that y'all are looking towards.
So the good thing about this is that, like on the locker, the team locker, I'm gonna gather the slide. I'm gonna like do my own notes.
Mhm.
I'm going to submit the notes to the team locker, right?
Mhm.
The locker, I'll submit that. Then I'll send an email to the class saying that, hey, a portion of the implementation is done. It's in the locker. I need you guys to review it and let me know whatever you feel. So if nobody says anything, then silence is consent. I'll move on. So then I wait on Chris to finish the slide sample. Then I'll put slide. I'll update my portion on the slide and put it back in the log. At least that's what I'm tracking. So, but if anything changes, I will surely update you.
Okay, what I'll do is I really can't do much other than read. Like I said, I'll read and I'll do what I can. Should one last question because I know you're busy. Is there any way I could try to work on the feedback now based on the reading that, huh? Okay, I want to send them something. Mhm.
Because the feedback is already in project anyway.
Mhm.
To my point, so you can get at that and whatever Jade paper that's put in there, I think that's what we're using, right? The Jade's notes, the notes for Jade. I don't know.
That's their name.
Jade, Jade, I believe she put a note on the locker, right? And she put a note in the locker, and that note is what Chris is using, and that's what I will use too.
I think I read it. It was really good. Very good. Well put.
So you can get at that and generate your feedback from there.
Okay.
So the only thing you're doing sometime next week or end of this week is post it and let people come back and put opinion in there that you can adjust.
Okay. Um, when the next time would you like to meet once I produce something? When the next time you think?
Anytime. Anytime. You just have to, you can text me or you can call me. Then if I don't pick up, I'll call you back. We can set time, right? But if you want to meet in 2 days, same time, I'm okay. But just keep in mind that between Monday and Friday, I don't get off work until like 5 o'clock Eastern time. So from there, if I have any other things and it's just social, I can always cut it short, talk, and I can go back.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you so much. So that means 3:30 my time, 5:30 yours on Wednesday. I should have something. I'm gonna send it to you, and I'm and the class. I'm sorry. I'm gonna send it to the class and you, but since we're teammates, like we're within the team, the group, I just want to send it to you first, and then I'll send it to the class, see what their opinions, and most likely, I want to know your opinion, seeing as though we can't do nothing without both of ours being put together.
I'm okay with that. Send it to me. And even if you send it to the class, I'll still look at it. I'll probably be the one that closes first. So either way is fine. I would recommend that you don't have to send it to me first since you're gonna send it to the class and I'm still gonna see it. Right?
True.
You can drop it in the
Locker.
in the
The
locker.
locker.
Yeah, drop it in the zip locker and you can text me that you already dropped it in there.
Fair enough.
So
I like that way too. That's a better way. Thank you so much. Take care. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and read again what she put. I think her name is Jade. Give me a second. Hmm. That's not it. It's right here. Sorry, y'all. Y'all watching me. Ooh. So now I can't share my screen. That's why, y'all. Because I could have sworn. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. I know what I'm going to do. Too easy. Okay. Okay. Kind of bummed out that I don't have the 5 ticker, but let's see if it'll work. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Let's start with this one. I hate downloading stuff that uh that's the only thing. I don't have nothing bad to say. I just hate downloading stuff because I'm not technical savvy. Okay, cool. Let's read it from the beginning. This proposal outlines a recommended change initiative for the foundation for the Project 3 communication plan. The purpose of the communication plan will be to explain, build understanding of, and persuade employees to adopt the Career Pathways and Resilience Initiative, CPRI. Org's retention strategy, which is employee holding an employee, hiring process developed by the Cotter's 8-step change framework. Projects 1 and 2 establish the strategic and operational components of CPRI. True. Well said. Project 3 focused on communication strategy required to successfully implement the initiative across the organization. Specifically, the communication plan must address employees' uncertainty, clarify expectations, and build commitment among multiple stakeholder groups. Me org is currently experiencing elevated voluntary turnover. That's sad when people are like, I voluntarily leave the group. Estimated at approximately 35% annually, which significantly exceeds the consulting industry average of approximately 18 to 20%. Now, a normal group of voluntary turnover would be between 12. They're pretty high. This level of turnover creates several organizational risks: loss of institutional knowledge, increased workload strain on remaining employees, disruption to client relationships, and project continuity. Come on, bear with me for a second. Higher recruitment and onboarding costs, exit interview data, internal HR analysis indicate that three primary drivers are contributing to employee departures: dissatisfaction with leaders' relationships, limited visibility into career development opportunities, workload strain, and lack of sustainable work practices. The CPRI was designed to address these root causes by improving leadership accountability, career development transparency, and workload sustainability. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The CPRI is a leadership driven retention strategy intended to strengthen the employee development, improve leadership capability, and create a more sustainable work environment. The initiative focused on three interconnected priorities: career development, transparency. CPRI introduces clearly defined career pathways, maps, and competency frameworks for key roles within the organization. These pathways provide employees with visibility into advancement opportunities and the skills required for the progression. To see if you're competent for key roles within that organization. Managers will review career pathways with employees during structured development section discussions. So managers will review career pathways. Basically, they will review the career pathways for or with the employees during discussions. There's nothing I can say to kind of sugarcoat that. Basically, you review together the ways the employee, will have a structure, which is discipline development discussion, to ensure that career progression becomes predictable and achievable. Leadership accountability for employment development. A, because leadership relationships significantly influence retention outcomes, CPRI strengthens leadership accountability through structured development practices. Key components: monthly development conversations between management and employees, quarterly growth and career planning discussions, leadership training focused on coaching and feedback skills, integration of development metrics in leadership performance evaluations. These practices reinforce individualized consideration, a transformational leadership behavior. To transform an employee and turn them into a leader is a behavior that will increase employee engagement and organizational commitment. True. Workload sustainability and employee resilience. CPRI also address workload related turnover drivers by improving workload management practices. You know, I remember I had 50 freaking clients a month as a counselor trainee, which they didn't call me that. They called me a counselor. I better be called a counselor as much work as I put in. 50 people a month and workload related turnovers, just getting fired because of the workload is what happened to me. And then just pure, I think it would have happened the same way had I got the same job today. Had I got the same job at starting point today and worked there for 3.5 years like I did, I think it would have been the same outcome with me being a different results. I'm not geared to work for somebody. I'm geared to pay for a business and create a business out of something. I do very well. So that FYI, if you are getting fired because you can't seem to find the right job, maybe it's time to save your money and get into a business that you can you can either be the CEO or the COO. See, the trap, and white people, you're included in this trap, is when everybody is connected and locked down to a job, whether government, state, whatever. Once you're locked down, it's different than being an entrepreneur. You can make your own hours, you can do what you want. However, it depends on how you cut corners and how you cut corners to make it work for you. I can give you an entire plan better than Chat GPT or Grok. Not saying that they're dumb, but I can give you a better plan, giving you the whole entire business plan of what I can do to make $1 million. Yes, $1 million a year in cleaning business. But you see, it will be a valid plan for someone else. But would it be for me, because the workload, not saying too much work is a bad thing. I don't care about working, overworking. That's what I was doing at Blue Cloud Cleaning, and that's why I have Blue Cloud Cleaning. But the workload of any other aspect of it can, because once you get in a certain bracket, it's like you're locked in. Then you're locked in on the back end. But between 350,000 to maybe 700,000, you're probably not locked in. You're not really known for Fortune 500, or I think they got Fortune 100 or 200. You're not known. You're under the radar, so to speak. But once you're making like $1 million, you think the government not gonna know who you are making? Maybe not now, maybe not now, but they will. The FBI will catch up. That's why I'm trying to, by next year, my taxes, whether owe or not, I'm doing my taxes. I'm not playing that crap. I don't want to see, I joke around and I don't want to see the FBI. Seriously. Because there's no, all jokes aside, leave me alone. You can't say leave me alone. When they at your door for some tax fraud crap, they got the papers. Chronic overload has been identified as a major contributor to burnout and disengagement. No one, not saying this is all I'm saying is you have to maintain good health techniques. Anyone who's making a lot of money, who's been doing it for 10, 5, 5 to 20 to 30 to 40 years, have a good health regimen that they keep up with. And it's even more difficult when you have mental health issues. Your manager isn't going to come in depressed saying, I hate my life. I hate the employees. I hate the glasses. I hate the computer. Like, they're going to look at him and they're going to vote him out very quickly. But a healthy manager who manages to come in, who don't have to run, don't have to be skinny, just someone who shows up and do their job consistently for more than 5 years or more. You got people in Congress that can't be voted out. Like Jasmine Crockett, from what I hear, she doesn't do her job, but she can't be voted out. There are some people that deserve their job that go to work every day that get fired. There's some people that get fired that don't deserve their job. There's some people that get fired that do deserve their job. And disengagement is something within me, or I can bring up me org because I can say that Sherry has a disengagement, and it's out of her coworkers um hands, because whoever allowed them to get a coalition and stuff made Sherry feel bad, and kind of like a piece of her. She's confused. And Taylor Shaw want to get the project together where we all were in placement as managers to write something saying what would be a benefit to help me org grow, and what is me org lacking that Sherry is discussing. And that's what she got up here, way up here. Uh-oh. Dissatisfaction with leadership, 40% or 63% of women, 40% being white, are dissatisfied with the leadership. Limited visibility is what Sherry said. Workload strain and lack of sustainable work practices. When Me Org spoke about their vision statement and their work, with their vision and mission and what they plan on doing for employees, what they say on paper and what they do is two different things. So that's why whoever wrote this has came in and said what CPRI was designed to address by improving leadership accountability, which I believe they shouldn't fire all of the managers. They should fire some. If 40% of Black women were leaving, I would say the same thing. If 40% of Black men were leaving, 40% is a large number. Would you imagine if they were to deduct 40% of your check, your paycheck right now, and sent you on your way to pay your bills? What that would be like? You're 40% in the hole, which means you're gonna owe an electric bill, have to extend that or whatever. But the workload strain and lack of sustainable work practices say that what they say on paper isn't what they do in person. And um, I think I know AI should be used, but I can't say I've worked some places. I've worked in the military. We all worked in the service, but I'm going to stick with what they have so far. I'm not going to bring AI into it because where was I at? Hold on. Right here. Okay. Protected time for development conversations. They'll have enough time to address their concerns both in person and in a group or a team, in a whole cafeteria or organization or building of people that works. You know, one thing that I learned through the course of surviving, it's not about trying to beat someone or try to be clever or be better than someone. It's about surviving. I've learned, Curtis, that how you really know who your friends are and how you really know it's not even about like two ways. How you know who your friends are is you bring them around people. You bring your friends around people and you see how they address the subject first by themselves, then around people. You know, it's not a win or lose thing. It's not about who wins and who loses. It's about, can you trust this person to get the job done? And that is what's on my mind. You know, that's how I feel, and protected time for development conversations. You want to be able to have a conversation with your manager alone. You don't need everybody around, but however, it should be a two-way street where the whole team or the whole organization come in with you included, and the manager take questions then. As you're analyzing the manager for the sense, or is the manager trustworthy and given transformational leadership roles, they're analyzing the employees to see what behavior they are performing when they engage around their peers. Are they being a-holes? Are they being respectful? Are they being a clown? What are their mission? What is their mission? That's how it should be. Reduction of low value reoccurring meetings. Like nobody wants to see their manager on a same all the time. A manager need their space, and that's why I decided to include in my project too AI, because I'm like, uh if we did it pre-interview, if which they have the design out here, if they were to sit up there and have AI pre-interview and base their behavior off of the interview, is they being deceitful? Are they telling the truth? Is this a compatible person? What Facebook also does is it analyze the performance like a stock ticker, up, down, same, if and how your behavior, but and the military does it too, and sometimes it's meant for people to get out, and sometimes it's meant for people to stay in. Me, as much as I would love to have done 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 150, 200, 300 years, I say to myself, I couldn't. Maybe in the future self of my DNA that the military housed, but um this life, is meant for me to work on the outside. Obviously they saw it fit to give me an honorable, however, it's something that not everybody, nobody, I look at these generals and these people, 5-star generals, and I say, wow, I look up to you. I look up to you because how did you get there? That is not by luck. That is not by chance. You know, it wasn't my vision when I first got in the military was to go as far as I could go. And the only thing that I lacked was a filter. However, when you get set up to not to not filterize stuff, the military saw it. They could have easily, but they didn't. And I wouldn't be working on my second master's now. So maybe they, in a way, classmates, they saw all of our future. Whether I pass or fail is irrelevant. However, I came this close. I can practically smell the cap and gown. You smell really good too. And I've been graduating since sixth grade, first grade, sixth grade. I love to graduate. What is so yeah, what is the big deal? I love it. It's not even about a high or a rush, but to get back to the point, we're getting off subject. The generals, do they burn out? Do they got medication and keep them from being burnt out? I don't know. I don't know. But um burned out is something. You got generals that seem to last and be built forever. And everybody get disengagement. Everybody. One one time in your career you've been disengaged. I've heard of people from Veterans Affairs sleeping in cars, people from what is that? Disease control, just sleeping in their cars on break. And throughout the whole day, their job is to sleep in a van at a park. And they got that title, and no one tells, and no one knew. And I'm like, okay. So there are people that get it disengaged. And had we been more non-laxed on the AI factors that show, well, this person will sleep in a vehicle, most likely be the one that not do a project, then that will eliminate the situation. That would eliminate the situation. Um, would you want someone to, like two of the same people, two black men come in, or let's just say two white men, because I know black men is going to be like, what the hell? I'm not trying to be funny, so let's just say two white men. Two white men come in with the same job title. They have the same master's degree from different colleges, of course, same fair colleges, not exceptional colleges, but fair colleges. And they come in and they're one is being deceitful, one is not. And this it's down to the crunch of someone, the manager who does the hiring is down to the crunch of what? Who am I going to hire? This guy is a king at lying. And another one is just a go-hearted, honest, square. Square. What now? Hold on, y'all. And so the uh the square, they um they don't hire him. They don't hire him because they believe that he's untrustworthy. And you have to think why. They got it wrong. Let's say they got it wrong. Sometimes they humans get get it wrong, and AI get it wrong too. However, AI is an upgrade from a human. They are. We aren't taught to be to failure. Have you ever known someone who succeeded all the time, which I do, and they get failure, and you ask yourself, is this orchestrated? Which we know the person I know is not like that, but they succeed so much. And it's like this particular person to get to the point is a person, a square, and the other person is someone who just look good on paper. And the reason why the person that has is a square, he don't get seen is because he don't have, and he's being interviewed by a male too, which makes it even harder. It's not a female, his opposition, so he can't charm a female like a female can't charm a man. So imagine two people are square and someone who is a habitual liar going in with the same credentials. He knows how to woo the manager. The other one just knows that their credentials will speak for themselves and what they have to offer, yet that person do not get hired. Only because of the wooing part. Something to think about for a second. I'm plugging in my items. So disengagement, you never see a general disengaged, or you never see, you know, I mean, how do you end up a 5-star general? We know how they end up a 5-star general, but how? How? That's like somebody succeed and then success just happens. George Washington, I love that guy because when I heard the story of what he did and how he did it, I was like, oh my God, I have almost the same exact story, except without the horse and without the woods. Out of all stuff that could be done in the woods, they're fighting in the woods, right? This is like late 1700s, I want to say. And George Washington is like riding on a horse. And these aren't, I mean, I don't care what bullet it is. A bullet doesn't have a name, and a bullet is a bullet. However, the bullets back then, they were big. They weren't controlled like a 9 millimeter or a 38, a 38 and a 9 millimeter bullet is totally different. But back in the day, this was like big, gigantic bullets, I think. And so imagine he is like the realest white man. This isn't horsepower Ford or horsepower Porsche or whatever horsepower. This is strictly a horse. And so, I mean, we've all done it before. Think about trying to shoot at something that is riding on a horse. It makes you think like, okay, that's easy to do. And yet something, the purpose and the moral of the story, something was protecting him out of all that shooting and violence. He managed to bypass all of that. And he made his name known. And I got respect for him because, if it was in reverse and I was 10 years old, that I had like, let's say it was in reverse and I had white slaves at age 10, like 300 or 100 white slaves given to me, I wouldn't, I would be desensitized as an adult thinking that that was the right way or the right thing to do. What would you do if you were conditioned at 10 years old? You were given a huge uh, load. It's this way or it's no way. Imagine somebody rebelling back then in the early 1700s saying, no, they will not be a slave. Yeah, yeah. And yeah. I had to say that for a second because it was like, there we go. The You didn't hear about George Washington getting burned out or disengaged. Mozart, Mozart was bipolar and threw chairs, and his music was causing a frenzy back in the whenever. I didn't really calculate when. I didn't look at the numbers, really study him when he was there, but yeah. So let's continue to read. Let me get on here. Hold on for a second. Bear with me. Um, Reoccurring meetings. You have like the men who created the Declaration of Independence. Clearer escalation pathways when workloads exceed capacity. In me.org, let me not go to government. Let me go to me.org. Um, Taylor, Taylor was the one who gave a clear escalation pathway to Sherry. Protected focus time for complex work. You have extra time for harder work. These changes are intended to create an environment where employees can maintain high performance without experiencing chronic stress or burnout. CPRI is designed to achieve several measurable outcomes that support both employee well-being and organizational. 25% in reduction in voluntary turnover within 12 months. 80% of completion rate of monthly development conversations. Good, good. 15% improvement in employment engagement scores related to career growth and workload sustainability. These indicators provide measurable evidence that leadership behaviors and organizational practices are shifting in ways that support retention. Importance of communication in the change effort. Although CPRI introduces structural, where am I at? In leadership improvements, its success ultimately depends on employee understanding and adoption. Employees may initially respond to the initiative with skepticism due to prior unsuccessful change initiatives, uncertainty about leadership follow through. Bear with me, y'all. Mm. Okay. Concerns about increased workload, fear that development discussions may become performance evaluations. For this reason, the success of the initiative depends heavily on a thoughtful and strategic communication plan. The several objectives that the communication plan must accomplish is clearly explain the purpose and benefits of CPRI, address employee concerns and potential resistance. And that's what I was talking about, the potential resistance. Yeah, they won't resist around you, but when they get together, it just gets brutal. And I've been one of the employees that heard what some employees have says, and one apple can spoil the bunch. They'd be like, I don't want to work for him no more. We need to develop a plan and get rid of him or develop something and yada yada yada. like I said, Facebook and Twitter, X, they found that their resistance, there were a lot of FBI agents within X organization when it was Twitter, and he gutted it all out and they turned on him. There were, he fired them. He basically got into the system and yeah. So they resisted him and he found out who they were. Same with Facebook. Build trust through transparent clearness and consistent follow through. Ensure employees understand their role in the initiative. Reinforce leadership accountability for supporting employee growth. Effective communication will help transform CPRI from a leadership initiative to a shared organizational commitment to employee development and retention. The communication strategy must consider the perspectives and motivations of several internal stakeholder groups. Executive leadership, managers and supervisors, employees, change champions, volunteers, okay. Anticipated sources to resistance. Oh, that is like beyond the me. To ensure the communication plan is credible and persuasive, it must address potential sources of resistance. Potential concerns may include skepticism resulting from previous change initiatives, fear that development discussions will become evaluation tools, concern that additional development activities will increase workload, uncertainty about whether leadership will sustain the initiative long term. Addressing these concerns openly will strengthen trust and increase participation in the initiative. Of the communication plan. The communication plan developed in Project 3 will build upon this proposal by outlining key communication messages, key communication channels and timing, strategies for addressing resistance. Communication is all that. Methods for gathering employee feedback, mechanism for reinforcing consistent messaging across leadership levels. The goal of the communication plan is to ensure that employees across MEORG understand why the change is occurring, how it will affect them, and how they can participate in the initiative. Conclusion. MEORG elevated turnover rate presents a significant organizational challenge that threatens operational stability, true, well-being, true, and long-term competitiveness, true. The CPRI provides a comprehensive strategy for addressing the underlying drivers of employee departure by strengthening leadership accountability, improving career development visibility, and promoting sustainable workload practices. However, successful implementation requires more than a structural change. Employees must understand and believe in the initiative for it to succeed. A well designed communication plan will therefore play a critical role in building trust. Sorry, reducing resistance, and encouraging participation across the organization. The proposed communication strategy will support this objective by delivering clear messaging engaging multiple stakeholder groups, and reinforcing the shared organizational commitment to employee growth and retention. Cool. She did an excellent job. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mhm, 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 mhm. Hmm. I didn't know my number was showing. Oh, well. Not in here. Oh God, it sounded wrong. I'm. I just logged on somewhere, y'all. Has nothing to do with here. Okay. Uh, Okay, let me keep that like that. Okay, I know what I have to do. Okay. Oh, it turned off again? That's weird. Mm. Oh, I know why. That's okay. I got the hint. I didn't want to show no one's name, and I think it kicked me off for that purpose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get off of here. I read all the requirements. I have 2 days to present my feedback to my team, and that is exactly what I'm gonna do. Submit a rough draft of my feedback for my teammates. I'm going to not call nobody until I complete this task. I can't really do much until I can do some. Something is better than nothing. I don't want to wait till the last minute. We already are on time. We're already on time. And I was a little bit behind, I'll admit. Um, Big shout out to everybody that covered me for this week. But I'm gonna still do some reading off camera. I'm gonna do start on my project off camera, and I'm gonna see um what direction I go into. And I see that my classmates have written and write down. Tonight it is 4 p.m., 6 p.m. Uh make a show, and this show will be about putting together banners and editing videos. I have an hour and a half to get something together, and yeah, so get something, start typing something. Um Hopefully I get to edit a video. Big shout out to all you guys out there that watch my show. Thank you for being a part and a member of the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm about to get off of here. I promise I'm not doing nothing special. I'll be back on here at 6:30 tops. If something shall happen that I'm not on here at 6, I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with you. Take care. I love you guys. Seriously. Take care.